Alright guys, we are here on Vortex and I just wanted to quickly go over profiles on Vortex. Um, I've noticed that here on the dashboard they have a get started thing with a bunch of tutorials, which is very useful. This is the managing games, logging in, install tools, and downloading mods. All four of these videos are great. I highly recommend you watch them. They're very quick, very short videos, and they'll give you a ton of knowledge on how to use Vortex. But one thing that I noticed they didn't have in the Get Started, which is causing a lot of confusion in the comments section of a couple of my videos, specifically about getting things set up with Vortex, was people were not seeing the Profiles tab on the top left where I was seeing it, just above Downloads. I've got a Profiles tab here, and as you see, right now there is no Profiles tab. And I real quick just want to show you guys how to get the Profiles tab to show up and what profiles are and how to use them. So let's dive in. If you go to Settings here, there's a lot of things you can look at and read and set to your heart's content. But right here, under Advanced, which is, for me, at the time of recording, is the 6th tab, if you enable this, you're going to see Profiles tab pop up. And under the game itself, you can see which profile is currently active. So if we go here to Profiles now, it's already set up a default profile. And if we go to edit it, you can see the name is default and there's no description whatsoever. Usually what I end up doing when I get a new game set up is I immediately turn this first profile into the names vanilla or no mods or something along those lines, but I just like to note that this is with absolutely no mods installed. So I would write no mods as the description. And then from there, I leave this profile completely alone and I just create another profile. And you can do that in two different ways. We'll go through the first way of creating a new profile. Let's say this is heavy mods, okay? And just as an example, I didn't put a description there, but I can always go in and edit and change the description to several mods, or, mods that are compatible with what, yada, yada, yada. There's all sorts of different reasons to have different profiles. For instance, with my Oblivion Remastered series where I'm doing mod showcases, modding Mondays, I have 4 different profiles. The first one is my vanilla profile with no mods. That is for my playthrough of Oblivion Remastered. First look at everything, basically, just vanilla, no mods, just so I can experience the game as it was made. But over here, I've made a profile called Mod Showcase, and basically I use this profile when recording videos to highlight a couple of new interesting mods. And then I've got this just for fun profile, and I use that basically to go nuts and test crazy mods and just test everything I possibly can. If they make it past this, I enable them on Mod Showcase and they show up in the videos. So basically this is my playground where I test and break things, and then this is, if it works and I know what I'm doing, it shows up here. I've also got this other profile that I created called Random Character. I've got a new series, probably has already come out if you're watching this, where I made a mod with random character generation, and it kind of, you hit a button and it makes a character for you that's random, and it has a challenge run attached to it. So I've decided that 40 mods at least are acceptable for the challenge run, and I have this profile set up to showcase those mods while I'm playing, which I think is pretty nice. That's just an example of how you could have different mods set up for one game where, let's say I want to play this or play this character or showcase some mods. I don't have to manually go and remember which mods were enabled or disabled. So anyways, this was the first way to make a new profile. Let's go ahead and show you guys what happens. So we have no mods enabled right now, currently for this profile. If we switch over to the heavy mods, we've got these two mods already downloaded, and I'm just going to go ahead and enable both of these mods. So if we go back to profiles, you can see here mods enabled is 2, mods enabled is still 0 for vanilla. If I go over and enable vanilla and I go to check out mods, you can see both of these are disabled. And when I switch back, you can see it's going through the process of enabling both of those mods, and it's already done. That's kind of the benefits of having different profiles. You can just switch back and forth and not worry about remembering which mods are for which. You could have a profile for each character that you do in case you wanted to customize like which mods are actually being used on a per character basis. Interesting ideas, things to think about. But there is another way that we can create profiles, and it is to clone a profile, which is very uh, convenient if there's a bunch of mods that you already know you're going to use. I did this for my Oblivion mod showcase. I cloned it to make the random character because I liked most of the mods in the mod showcase mod list, and then I just added a couple extras for the random character. But anyways, we're going to call this Heavy Mods 2. It's going to be several mods, but we're going to also note no visual upgrades. And then I'm going to save this. You'll notice it already has 2 mods enabled. The reason is because it's an exact copy of this. So when we go to enable it, we go to mods, we can disable the visual adjustments just to make it a little bit different from the other version of the mod. Again, this is an example, a basic example with just 2 mods that I just randomly chose for Pathfinder Kingmaker. When you are going through this process, you may end up like me in my Skyrim eventually and have 152 mods enabled for this profile, only 120 for this, none for that, and only 24 for Skyrim Together Reborn. That's just an example. But anyways, as you can see here, mods, we only have 1 enabled. If we switch back to the heavy mods profile, you can see both of them are enabled. And if we switch back to this, we're going to see both mods. One's enabled, one is disabled. And if we go back to vanilla, as you can probably tell already, no mods are enabled. It just remembers which mods are enabled and disabled for each profile and then auto loads all that stuff. When you go to run the game, it's going to compile all the mods and just keep track of things. It's going to be very easy to keep track of things with Vortex, and the profiles are just a very good added bonus to all of this. So now that we've gone over how to create profiles, I do want to get into how to get rid of profiles. Let's say you don't like the playlist, or you're not going to revisit a character anymore, or I don't know, the amalgamation of all the mods has somehow broken part of a game or something like that, and you just don't want the profile anymore. Whatever the reason, let's get into how to get rid of them. So under this arrow here, you can see we're going to go ahead and remove Heavy Mods 2. It's warning us it can't be undone. That's fine. And we've now gotten rid of it. Now, there is a little bit of an interesting thing that comes with this. If you are actively on the profile that you're going to delete, something a bit strange happens. We will go to remove, and once we remove it, it's going to take us back to the dashboard, and we're not even going to be on the game we were on earlier. It kind of packages games and profiles automatically. If you don't have the profiles tab active, it assumes that you are on the default profile, basically. And so since we got rid of the profile we were on, it basically wholesale decided we weren't in a game either. Now the game is still going to show up in the Games tab here, and if we go to activate it, it's going to have us forced to choose a profile basically. We're going to pick vanilla. So as you can see here, the vanilla profile is still there, mods, it still remembers that there's nothing there, all that's good. Now, something very strange that I found as well is when you remove the last profile for a game, it's got all this messaging here, but as you can see, removing it will unmanage the game within Vortex. If you do that, you will see we're back on the dashboard, but the game itself is no longer being managed by Vortex. Now, that sounds like a problem, and to be completely honest, it's a bit annoying, but you probably should have at least one profile for every game, so it makes a little bit of sense. All we have to do to get this back is to go find Pathfinder Kingmaker in the search here and go back to managing. And now that we have managed this game again, you'll see it's already set us back up with the default profile here. So it's exactly the same as it was before at the very beginning of this video. Default is the name, there's no description. You can change that to whatever you want or just leave it as default. Doesn't matter, just as long as you remember what your profiles are and what they do. And you'll also notice, even though Vortex was no longer managing Pathfinder Kingmaker because we didn't have a profile, both of these mods are still installed. You can just enable them. It's not going to remove your mods if you accidentally stop managing the game. Just a quick FYI. So that was just a hopefully quick video covering a couple of different use cases and what profiles are, how to get them set up, how to make new profiles, how to get rid of profiles, and how to clone profiles. Hopefully this helps quite a bit. I know that people were scrambling trying to find things online. It wasn't easily available information. Hopefully this is going to make modding a lot easier for you. Hopefully you're going to get Vortex up and running and installed locally and test this out with profiles now. I hope life's a lot easier now. Okay, so all that out of the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy modding, and as always, happy Mondays. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I really appreciate it, and I hope it was very helpful showcasing this mod and showing how to install it. I'm really hoping that we can get this channel growing so that we can show as many people as possible how easy it is to install some mods and showcase some really good mods that some hardworking people come up with. In order to do that though, I'm really going to need you guys' help. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with as many people as you can. We'll try to get this channel growing, and hopefully it helps as many people as possible. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.